Good evening. Thank you for joining us on For FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Daniel McFarland.
And I'm student meteorologist Christina Sherwin.
And Christina, with all the talk about game day and all, let's focus on what's going on tonight before we get into that. Well, there's Friday night block party night, right?
Yeah, and we actually, every home game, Tallahassee actually puts on a pep rally for anyone who's interested. It's in downtown Tallahassee at Claman Plaza, and tonight we actually have a musical guest appearance. His name is Dallas Smith, and Chris Lane will actually be featured with him. And so if you like country music, definitely show up and show your support. But even if you're just a football fan and you want to get excited about tomorrow's game, you should definitely show up.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And weather tonight will be a little bit cloudy, and the temperatures will get down into the 70s, so it'll feel really nice out. You know, the sun will be gone because it'll be night, obviously. It'll feel a lot better then,
It'll
correct?
be a very comfortable night, lots of cloud coverage. There's an isolated chance of rain just because of a system that's staying mostly south of us, actually. So the chance of rain is very, very isolated, but lots of clouds, so very comfortable temperatures.
It's really nice that the rain's going to hold off for tonight. So if you're planning on going out there, it looks like it's going to be a great night. We'll probably have a little bit of rain in the morning, but it should be gone by tomorrow at game day, right?
The clouds are definitely going to be gone by lunchtime, so we will have a clear game. But for an overview of the weather for this week, we're actually going to send it out to the wall.
Thanks, guys. We had a very warm day across the region today, and we're sitting at 81 degrees in Tallahassee, kept significantly cooler than Montgomery, who's at 92 right now, due to all those clouds across the region. Let's take a look. We've got all this rain in the Gulf of Mexico right now, and these clouds are stubbornly hanging over the Panhandle right now. We can see they're starting to scoot out of the region. Pensacola is already getting the sunshine this evening, and we're going to see nice weather to follow, but just exactly what are the details, be sure to stay tuned. For the most part, those clouds indeed will be getting out of the way for what we hope will be a great game tomorrow against Clemson, as College Game Day is here. And after that, sunny skies next week, Sunday and Monday, they look like they're going to be gorgeous. But as for tonight's forecast, exactly how low will it go? Stay tuned for more information. We're expecting mostly cloudy skies with scattered storms getting out of the way by 2 a.m. Let's send it back now to the desk.
We've got a little mystery going here in the weather studio as to what our low temperature is actually going to be. But for now, we're actually going to talk about what's going on a little bit west of us, actually a lot west of us. The southwest region of the United States is actually dealing with remnants of Hurricane Odile.
That's a lot less scary than, we don't know what the low's going to do. But yes, they still have a little bit of rain in the southwest moving through. Like they had the flooding in Arizona and New Mexico over the past couple of days. Now it seems like it's going to move into Texas and hit them too, isn't it?
It has affected regions from southeast Arizona into western Texas and even the coastal areas of Texas. But there's short-term negative impacts as flooding is occurring in the streams and rivers, but actually long-term benefits because they've been experiencing droughts for a long time, so that's actually replenishing their resources.
Yes, that's really good. But for right now, we're going to take a look at the with Paxton at the local.
Why, thank you guys. Currently, it is 81 degrees, mostly cloudy. We had those clouds stick around for the majority of today, and those will be lingering later on tonight, but they will be clearing out tomorrow afternoon and definitely into Sunday. So these next 2 days for the weekend are going to be absolutely gorgeous outside, which is perfect, especially since we do have that Clemson game tomorrow night. We do have some shower activity all the way to the south of us into the Gulf, but that's not a threat to our area. We're going to remain relatively dry as of right now and also earlier today, and this will continue on into tomorrow morning as well. The water vapor is showing that we did have a lot of moisture in our area from yesterday going into today, but we do have all this dry air following behind this stationary front, which is going to be pulling down to the south of us later on today. Winds are easterly due to a surface low we have in the Gulf of Mexico, and since these low pressure systems have counterclockwise winds, it's driving these easterly winds into our area instead of those usual southerly winds which we usually have when we have a front. Satellite radar is showing again that we do have some clouds and some moisture, but they are south of us, so it's not a big deal to our area. It's mostly just whipping up all those fish in the ocean and in the Gulf and into those southern areas. We did have a stationary front that just passed right below me, but that is passing on and is bringing in drier temperatures or drier air and cooler temperatures, and we are experiencing some 60-degree temperatures in our morning lows, which is fantastic, much better than those 70s, which we have been experiencing. And the weather is clearing up for the game and into game day. So we do have a clear kickoff for tomorrow, which is at 8 o'clock. So we don't have to have those ponchos and umbrellas like we had for Citadel a couple weeks ago. So it's much better for us, and we could see everyone out there much better than when it's raining. For tonight, it's going to be 68 degrees. We are in those 60s, like I just said, which is fantastic for us. It's not hot, it's not muggy, it's not humid, so it's a great change we like to have, especially since fall is right around the corner. It's mostly cloudy, and these storms will persist to around 2 a.m., and then they will dissipate later on. For tomorrow, it's a high of 86. Again, it's not in the 90s, which is great. We have a nice weather for tailgating as well, 30% chance of storms, and those will be clearing again for lunchtime. For our 7 days, we do have 60-degree temperatures in the morning lows, no 70s in sight, so that's going to be a bit of relief. And we do have 80s, but they will creep back up again into Monday and fall back down as the week goes on. But for now, I'm going to hand it on over to Casey for some more.
Thanks so much, Paxton. Let's go ahead and take a look, in fact, at the southeast and the water vapor imagery. We do see here in the green color on this map that there is moisture in the upper levels of the atmosphere. You can see that dividing line between this moisture and drier air, and the orange is just north of Tallahassee, and that's the big weather story. A cool front's going to push through our area this evening and cool things down just slightly, and also dry some conditions out as well, and make things a little bit nicer across our viewing circle. Now, radar does show that there is some light rain in the Gulf of Mexico, but that's even starting to weaken. We do have a few showers around our area. That's good news in terms of a little bit of drought conditions that have been trying to persist around our area, helping with that just a little bit here on this Friday evening. Now, I want to take a closer look at a storm that moved through Albany, Georgia earlier this afternoon. This storm actually was severe thunderstorm warned, and there was even reports of some tree damage in this area. That's one of the biggest stories in the southeast. Just a minor damage in this area, really not too much going on in terms of significant weather in the southeast. Luckily, nobody has been reported injured in that area. I see some coastal areas seeing a few showers as well, but not too much of a factor down toward Wakulla and Franklin County. Now, current conditions across that southeast, we see a little bit of cloud cover in our area, cooling things down just a little bit, only 78 right now here. Kind of a little bit of relief, in fact, from the warmer temperatures we've been seeing because of that cloud cover across our area. Temperatures to the north, though, not seeing that cloud cover, the cities that is. We see that there are sunny conditions in Montgomery, 88 degrees in that area. As we now kind of take a look at humidity, this is a good indication of how sticky it is to your skin. We do see 79% in Tallahassee. I saw Orlando, but Miami even a little more humid at 90%. That level really displays the weather situation nicely. There is a lot of moisture in the air in toward the state of Florida. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Winds pretty gusty, actually, 10 miles an hour here around our area. Again, though, those are going to kind of start to calm down just a little bit as we get into the next couple of days as that cool front gets out of our region. Now, futurecast-wise, we do see temperatures cooling down tonight, getting into low to mid-60s, some of our South Georgia counties as well. Tomorrow evening, we'll be seeing temperatures upper 80s, and we see a little bit of even really cool temperatures in the North Carolina mountains. We'll keep an eye on that for you. But right now, I'll go ahead and take it over to Christina and Daniel with a look at some more information.
Thanks a lot, Casey.
So there's actually, associated with some of the weather that's going on in our area with that stationary front, there's actually a lot of rain that's coming down in Austin, Texas.
That's right. They're seeing a lot of flooding in Austin, Texas right now. They've had heavy thunderstorms since last night, and there's even a missing sheriff deputy, and they had to put the search on hold because the rain was so bad.
It's very unfortunate. Obviously, they want to find their sheriff deputy, but with the weather coming down the way that it is, they just can't. and with thousands out of power, that, you know, it's a very unfortunate situation that's going on.
Check this out. They've had 3.27 inches of rain in the past 2 hours, and Lake Austin has rose 6 inches since midnight. So that's crazy, isn't it?
It's absolutely insane. I mean, we get a lot of rain here in Tallahassee, but it's very unfortunate over there. But we're actually going to send it out to the wall for our next segment.
Yeah, and we've been warm and cloudy, and that's been the case across most of the United States this afternoon and into this evening. Dallas reporting 88 degrees, a warm and cloudy sky there in Dallas and across most of Texas. 96 are finally starting to clear out back in Phoenix and across much of the Pacific Southwest. Here, though, we're seeing cloudy and cool across the east, kind of a early fall type day with a couple of clouds lingering across the area. And that's because of the upper level features that are crossing the United States. You can see the jet stream crossing the northern part of the country there. There's a second dip in the jet stream pushing across the northern Gulf Coast, and that's what's brought in a lot of rainfall across the eastern parts of the Gulf this afternoon. You can actually see a lot of that rain pushing from areas across from San Antonio down across I-10 and all the way into central Florida, where there were actually a report of a waterspout off the coast of St. Petersburg this afternoon, and also a report of a funnel cloud off the coast of Blackbeard Island in east central Georgia there. That's going to kind of continue over the next 12 hours or so before that rainfall kind of starts to lose some of its reach and power. But not before Odile leaves its mark, still leaving quite a bit of a mark in western Texas and southeastern New Mexico. Flash flood warning in parts of southeastern Mexico for some flooding out there. Some places over the last couple of days have had upwards of 5 inches of rainfall. Carlsbad, New Mexico, a little over 5 inches there. El Paso had some flooding as well, around 3 inches of rain there. Some places, including most of the western Texas panhandle, could see an additional 1 to 3 inches of rainfall throughout the next couple of hours and into early tomorrow. Some rainfall, mainly some light showers south of the North Texas panhandle and moving generally off towards the south and east away from this area. A secondary story we're talking about is this: there's an area of low pressure moving through the National Forests of Canada right now, moving through Thunder Bay, and this is actually going to push down into the Midwest over the next day or so and could bring some severe weather into parts of the upper Midwest from Chicagoland across towards closer to Detroit. And if you're traveling, there was an issue in New York earlier today because of some high winds in New York area, and we're starting to see some of those delays clear up for New York, but right now we're talking about a 60-minute delay in New York. Delays also in Miami, most likely due to cloud cover and some of that rainfall we're seeing, but it's going to be a warm night across most of the country. 74 degrees in Dallas, 68 here in Tallahassee, warm even more even in South Florida, and a warm day again. We're still summertime here in the Big Bend. 88 degrees tomorrow afternoon, no problems for the country's forecast. But we're going to take another local look here with Christian.
Thanks, John. Looking today, right now, a lot below average, 82 degrees. Normally we're sitting at 89. We can even get into the 90s, but today, sitting at 82. I'd rather take the 82 than the upper 80s and low 90s, so that's a good thing. But still, despite that below average temperature, we still have above average highs, sitting at 71 because of that cloud cover keeping us not too cool, so we do have 71 instead of the average of 69. Current temperatures right now, Tallahassee right now sitting at 78, Carabel 70, getting that nice sea breeze in, cooling them off quite a bit. As we look a bit more inland, Wilma at 80 and Bainbridge at 88. Dew points right now, still a lot of moisture in the area with those clouds that you see up in the sky. Monticello 75 degrees, Thomasville 70, Bainbridge 72, and Marianna at 73. Still a lot of moisture, and you can tell looking at the satellite and radar, just all that white cloud in the area and even some rain to our south associated with that system that's right now central southern Florida region. But luckily it scathed on by, as you see with this graphic, and hopefully by tomorrow we should see clearing by game day. A little showers in the morning, but by game day, by midday, we should clear up and it should make for a beautiful day. As we see looking into Saturday, by the time kickoff starts at 8 p.m., we're going to have nice clear skies Really great football weather if you're a fan of the Seminoles, which hopefully you are. Moving on to Sunday, we're going to have another great day on Sunday, really great weekend. Sunny Sunday, that's the key fact. Sun, plenty of it, so really enjoy it as we move on into the later stages of our summer. Our boating forecast right now, 5 to 10 knots, so it's going to be a little windy tomorrow, and there is a chance of a storm early. However, as you get into midday, maybe you want to enjoy some time on the water before the game. It's going to be a really nice day for boating. Tonight's forecast, though, 68 in Tallahassee, 69. We're going to get at some mid to high 60s in the Big Bend region with still some low 70s down towards the coast in Carabel and Apalachicola. Tomorrow's forecast, we do have some mid-80s across the region. Again, it's going to be another great day with Tallahassee sitting at 86, St. Mark's 86, Perry 86, the magic number 86. Moving on to the week ahead, we have a 30% chance again in the morning on Saturday, but as we move on into our week, mid-80s by the end of the week with a slight percent chance of rain. And as we move into our desk, we'll take a look at the past of weather history with Paxton and Ian. Guys?
Thank you. We are going to be talking about a hurricane that left a large amount of damage in New Orleans. There was actually, you know of Katrina, but back in 1947, there was a hurricane that caused a lot of damage for New Orleans.
It did. And what a lot of people don't know is that, like what Ian was saying, everyone always thinks about Katrina when it comes to New Orleans, but this hurricane on this day, 1947, it passed directly over it with a pressure of 968 millibars, which is a very low pressure, and it unfortunately killed 51 people as well.
Yes, it had a large toll on damage as well. In fact, over $110 million in damage. And bear in mind, this is 1947, so those values would be inflated to our prices, our money now, which would be a lot more. So this hurricane did a good number to New Orleans, unfortunately, for them there.
It did, and the wind gusts were also 155 miles per hour. So that just shows you how intense this storm was, especially for the New Orleans area, where it's not really well prepared for storms, especially since it's below sea level.
Yeah, and a lot of areas along the Gulf especially have to be concerned about hurricanes such as these because areas like New Orleans, Tampa Bay have to deal with a potential for devastating damage when it comes to a lot of the surge when associated with storms. So,
and another thing is that this storm hit Florida, but we're going to send on out to Brandon for more around Florida.
Thanks a lot, Paxton. We're going to take a look around Florida for you. Here, pretty much upper 70s across the state. You can thank that for the cloud cover that we're seeing in association with the stationary front sitting just to the south of us here in Tallahassee, really lying right over the Tampa, Orlando I-4 corridor for us. Now, looking at the dew point, you can see there's a bigger separation between the dew point and our temperature here at home versus down south. That's because of all the moisture that they're seeing associated with the storms. You can see that real well here on the water vapor, pretty much green everywhere. Including Tallahassee, although most of that moisture is at upper levels, which is why we didn't see too much rain today. The same cannot be said for the heartland of the state, which is seeing significant storms. And if you look off to the northwest, you can see some orange colors trying to work their way in as the front clears our way. Now the winds really tell you where the front is. You can see they're out of the south here at home, and then you get a wind shift as you work your way farther south, sitting over Orlando at 8 miles an hour, a little gusty at home here at 12 miles an hour. Now looking at the satellite and radar, you can see really clearly defined right here the front, the stationary front, and the dry air moving in behind it, and how wet it is to our south. All that's moving inland, clear here at home in Tallahassee, but as we work our way to Jacksonville, you can see more of that rain associated with the front, or it's pretty much drenching the I-4 corridor, pretty much, and then the same can be said all the way down to Miami, a little clear or in the actual southernmost portions of the state. But as we work our way, as we zoom out a little bit, you can really get a good picture of that front, and all the moisture associated with it. Now it's going to work its way eastward, and that should clear out for the game for us come Saturday rather. Now tonight, low 70s for the most of the state. We're going to be a little cooler as that drier air moves in behind it, behind us, 68 here at home in Tallahassee, the same in Jacksonville. Now, tomorrow, significant cloud cover is going to remain for a lot of the day. Now, that's going to keep us out of the 90s pretty much statewide, with significant rain chances farther to our south, and highs of 86 in Tampa, 86 in Fort Myers, warmer as you work your way south into Miami. And now that pretty much does it for the state, and we're going to send it off to Daniel to do our tropical forecast.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brandon. We're going to look at the hurricanes. We've been really lucky this year. We haven't had too many, and the best part is we have had some a little bit off the coast, bringing us some nice surf in like the upper northeast here. You can see a lot of the tracks they've taken this season so far have just been up here and just kind of falling out, which is awesome because that means we haven't seen a whole lot of them. Usually about 10 years ago, you saw a lot of them take this track going right through Miami, and even some of the worst ones coming up through like Ivan and Katrina came up and hit Pensacola and New Orleans right there. Go ahead and look at Polo, which is moving through right now. You see that this storm is going to move up, and it's really just going to move out. So it looks like the West Coast is looking all good in that department too. So that's real nice for them. And here's what it looks like right now. You see not too much to it, and really nice. It's moving out, so that's also still looking great. Go ahead and look over at this was Edward, and look, it's just going away. You see, it's already gone. This morning it was, or actually last night. You see that starting, and then all of a sudden it just dies out. So Edward's over for this year. Well, our season so far, you've seen that the track it just took, coming up and swooping around like I was talking about earlier. That's really been the trend all year. And you see that the pressure there at 998 is just below average, so it's really nice. And you see that it's going to move out and might hit these little islands over here, but that won't be too bad for them at all. And we're going to go ahead though and look at what Odell, I think it was called. I don't remember, but anyways, it's not a hurricane anymore. It's just a bunch of thunderstorms that have been affecting Arizona and New Mexico, and now into Austin, Texas, as Christina and I were talking about earlier. A lot of those storms moving through. Probably won't get too into Louisiana and Mississippi as bad as it hit Arizona and New Mexico, but we will keep an eye on and let you know how those areas will fare over the next few days. Well, here's the satellite and radar for the southeast. A bunch of storms in the Gulf, not really too much onshore except a little bit just north of Tampa right there. And thankfully, none of this is going to come up to us tomorrow during the football game, so that's real good news for us. And looking at tonight's forecast, we're going to see a low of 68 degrees. It's looking about that for all of our area. You see 68 in Tallahassee, 70 in Panama City for a low, and 72 in Pensacola. So we're looking real good for the lows, it's hanging right around the upper 60s and lower 70s, so that's real good there. And for tomorrow, we're looking at about 80, 88 for Tallahassee. You see a lot of these thunderstorms coming up. Don't get too scared. These are going to be in the mornings before the game starts. That even goes for the east of us over to Jacksonville. A lot of those storms will be passed on through by tomorrow night. As you can see, Pensacola still is sunny, and up there in Mississippi, Meridian is also sunny. So we're looking all good for that. See, even Tampa and Orlando down there, they might have some more storms later on. But for now, we're going to go ahead and send it off to Paxton and Ian at the desk. What's going on, guys?
Hey, thanks, Daniel. We actually have some exciting news. Tomorrow, NASA is going to be launching SpaceX, which is going to be containing a new scatterometer, which is a device that will allow scientists and NOAA researchers to do more research when it comes to knowing about tropical storms in the future.
It is, and what's exciting about this is that it cuts back on it makes it easier for people to, especially scientists, to see the storm when it's all the way into the eastern Atlantic, almost by Europe, basically. Because right now, we have to take planes, and we can't really do that because we don't have the power to do that.
That's very true. So there's not a whole lot of planes that can really fly into a hurricane or tropical storm that's all the way in the eastern Atlantic basin. But now, with this, they will be able to find out how these storms are developing early in the stages and be able to do a better job at predicting the intensity forecasting for us here in the United States.
And it's also safe for people as well because they don't have to put themselves in the middle of this storm. But for now, we're going to give one more look on our weather with Christina.
Thanks, guys. Now, if you guys were outside for any amount of time today, you saw a lot of clouds, and that's because of a stationary front that has parked itself right over Florida. So right now we are sitting at 77 degrees here in Tallahassee with a 70% dew point because of all of the moisture that's in the air associated with this stationary front. Now, if we zoom out to see the bigger picture, we see the same story throughout the Big Bend region. We've got low 80s, high 70s. Now, we do have Carabel down down near the coast, and they're a little bit cooler, just because they do have the they do have the sea breeze that's coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. Now, this tells the story of the entire day. The white on the radar, those are the clouds that we were seeing for the entirety of the day, and we see the rain that has just scooted on to the south of us, and we do see the pop-up showers that are just to the south of Tallahassee, and that is associated with the front. But for the most part, we won't be seeing any of those storms here in Tallahassee. Isolated chance of rain tonight if you are going out to the Friday night block party, but you shouldn't have to worry too much. Now, this just shows us the bigger picture of what's going on, the stationary front draped across Florida and the southeastern region, just dumping rain on the panhandle, or sorry, excuse me, the peninsula of Florida, in the I-4 corridor, Orlando, Tampa, everywhere. They are just getting a lot of rain. Now, if we take a look into the next couple of days, we do see clearing for tomorrow for the game day. So that is definitely some good news that we have for anybody who's going out to the game. Clear kickoff at 8:23 later on tomorrow night, and so we will have a gorgeous night with no rain, no clouds, so get ready for just an amazing night of football. And for Sunday, we have, it lives up to its name. It's going to be very sunny as the stationary front moves on through, and we're not going to be seeing any of those clouds for the remainder of the day. Now, for tonight, we are going to be seeing a low of 68 degrees. Those clouds are going to try and linger as the front tries to push on through, but there will be clearing into tomorrow morning, and we will definitely see clearing through tomorrow at lunchtime. So we do have a scattered chance of thunderstorms, but those chances will dissipate throughout the evening. Now, for tomorrow, if you are going out way early for college game day, you're going to see a temperature of 76 degrees. And again, those clouds are going to be clearing out. And if you're going to be joining me at Doak Campbell Stadium tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we're going to be seeing 77 degrees at 8 o'clock with clouds nowhere to be seen. So make sure that you enjoy that. Now, looking at our week ahead, we see scattered chances of thunderstorms later on in the week, but nothing to worry about, as Florida is used to those types of chances of rain. Now we're going to send it off to the desk to finish out the show.
Thank you, Christina. I don't know about you, Ian, but I'm looking forward to that Clemson game tomorrow.
I definitely am, and it's going to be great weather for us out there too tomorrow night.
It is what Christina's been telling us, what we've been telling you the whole show. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a fun day for football. It's going to be gorgeous, even for game day. If you're getting out there at 9 a.m., I'm not going to be doing that.
I'm not an early riser, but I know plenty of people are, and they're going to be going out there and trying to get on TV with those beautiful posters that people are going to be making.
I know, and I'm still not one of those. But for tomorrow, we have a 30% chance of rain for game day. That's going to be clearing up. It's going to be a little cloudy, but again, it's going to be beautiful for the time when the game starts.
And a great weekend, too. Look at that.
It has, and look at those lows in the 60s, something we do miss. But in case you missed us, you could like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. You can watch us again tonight, 11:30 on Channel 4. You could even watch us on live stream if you like the internet and all of that fun stuff.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, and go Knowles.
Exactly. And, even though tomorrow is going to be nice outside and college game day is going to be here, I'm still not going to be waking up early. Have a good day. And night.